Hello, today we're trying the Arc browser, and I originally had a really nice, organized, scripted intro for this video. That was until I got on the internet yesterday and found out the browser company is being bought out by Atlassian for $610 million. Are we serious? They made 1.5 browsers. How are they getting bought out for over $500 million? I'm in the wrong industry, if I'm being honest. Anyways, I want to give Arc a shot because of all the good reviews I've heard about Arc browser, but also I want to try it before Atlassian makes any changes to it. Although I personally haven't used any Atlassian products because I own retail franchises and their products don't really align with what I do. I have a lot of friends that work for really big companies that use a lot of Atlassian products. I don't know why, but typically the reviews on their products are bad. So I would rather give this browser a shot at its, I guess you can say, highest point, or at least the point before it gets touched by, I don't know if that's the right word, touched by Atlassian. Regardless, I'm tired of yapping. I have the installer right here. Let's go ahead and double click and let's get this on my computer, and then we're going to try it. Tailoring your experience. So it's almost done installing, and while it's installing, I will say I have tried other browsers before, but that was when I was a lot younger. Get us up to speed. No, I want to type in all my passwords again. Yes. Move faster with AI and Arc. Turn on Arc Max to power up your browser and save time online. Arc Max requires that we send your data to our AI partners. If you don't opt in, it's never sent. Yeah, sure, take my data. Do whatever you want. Go study with Arc. No, still exploring my options. Ooh, they give you a card. It's like when you beat a gym in Pokemon. Here's your Arc card. Show it off to the world or keep it to yourself. And with that, you are now ready to experience your upgraded internet. I will say this is cool. Okay, so this is what we got. There's a tab for Gmail. There's a tab for Google Calendar. This is a space, and then you get a page that says Arc Basics. Okay, so it's a bunch of resources. Pin tabs. Ooh, and they give you keyboard shortcuts. I didn't realize that browsers had so many keyboard shortcuts until recently. I was doing some work on Firefox, and I'm like, well, I don't want to move my hands from my keyboard too much, so I was trying to see if there was keyboard shortcuts to move from one tab to another, and I discovered that in Firefox, if you go Control T, it opens a new tab. Control W closes the tab, which is sick because I open and close a lot of tabs when I'm doing work. So what are pin tabs? Pin tabs are tabs saved to a particular space. One major difference between pin tabs and unpinned tabs is that pin tabs never auto archive. You can read about, okay, what is auto archive? It clean as you go. Okay, so it keeps you, so this basically just keeps your sidebar organized. Okay, what about spaces? Distinct browsing areas. This applies to Arc on macOS and Windows. They're distinct browsing areas in Arc created to separate different contexts. Each space has its own pinned section, unpinned section, theme, and icon. So I guess this is similar to, if you're familiar with Hyperland on Linux, it would be like, you hit the Windows key and do 1, 2, 3, and it just takes you to different spots. I guess that, I'm assuming it's the same context of that, or like basically just workspaces, right? So you hit the plus icon at the bottom of the sidebar, and then to switch spaces, you can either click or you can do Alt. So what if I do Alt 2? Does it just create a new space? No. So you have to create the space first. So we're going to do new space, space name, wizard. We're going to choose a theme. Let's make this one red. Okay. Is that red? Yeah, it's red. Create space. Okay. So now we do Alt 2. Is it Control 2? Am I already in the space, or Alt 1, Alt 2? Okay. There we go. Now it works. I guess it just took a second. That's kind of cool. That's actually really kind of cool. Let's see. Split view. View multiple tabs at once. Not Arc on iOS. Arc is on iOS? Or Arc search. Okay. Horizontal split view or vertical split view. Command Shift plus, or use Command T or Control T, then add right split. So let's do Control T. Does that not just open a new tab? Yeah, does that not just open a new tab? And then you do split view. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't work. Hold on. Control T. Let's do Google. No, it just opens that up. Add right split. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And then you can just open it like this. So then how do you, okay, and then you just close it like that. Cool. Exit split view. You can right click on a split tab and select separate all tabs. Hit the X above either split view panel. Hit the X next to either split view tab in the sidebar. Okay, cool. Let's resize this a little bit and let me get a full view. Okay, so we've got split view, import bookmarks, shortcuts. This is what I want to see. Keyboard shortcuts for everyday use. I'm gonna be honest. half of the point of this video is for me to see if it's even worth switching browsers. With this, I want to see how good these keyboard shortcuts are and how essential it would be to my workflow. Because right now, the main differences that I see between Arc and browsers like Google Chrome or Firefox is A, the tabs are on the side, B, the spaces, obviously. I mean, Chrome, there is profiles, but it takes a lot more work to open those than to open something like this. You know what I mean? And also, there is the search bar here. Obviously, you open Google Chrome, it takes you to a page where you can just sit there and Google things, and Google wants you to have Google open as the first thing that you do when you open a new page and search something up, because it's their company. They make more money the more that you Google things. So let's continue. Keyboard shortcuts. New tab, Control T. New window, Control N. Try that. Boom, second window. Okay. New incognito window, Control Shift N. Let's see what their incognito is like. Ooh, it's dark mode.
Feel real scary right now.
Close that out. Close current tab or window, Control W. So let's do open to incognito mode and then do Control W. Okay, so you close it. So it starts by closing out the tabs and then it opens up the window. Open little arc. Okay, so Windows can't do that. Kind of wish I had a Mac because I feel like this browser is more optimized for Mac, but it seems to be working just fine on Windows, I guess. Pin, unpin current tab, copy current tab URL. Oh, that's nice. So instead of having to go up like here and then doing this, you can just do Control Shift C and then it copies it. Yep, copies current URL and then just do Control V to paste it. Sick. Okay, that's actually really convenient. For my average workflow, I don't do a lot of copying and pasting, but if I'm just like messing around with stuff, I usually do paste browser tabs, or if I need to send something to like my brother, I usually do copy and paste a lot of links. So that's cool. This one's really good. Copy current tab URL as markdown, change current tab URL. What do you mean? Control L? Oh, okay, so it just lets you open something else in the same tab. Quick navigation. So you do Control and then you hit a number and then focus on space, and that just switches between your spaces. Okay, toggle between recent tabs, Control tab. Oh, that's sick. Switch between tabs, Control Alt, up or down. Cool. Okay. I think I'm beginning to get more of an understanding about how this browser works. Now, I want to try and stress test this a little bit. Let's close Arc Basics. So what we're going to do is between two spaces, I'm going to quickly find a YouTube video and open it up a bunch of times in different tabs, and then I want to test and see how much RAM that uses between this or between another browser like Google Chrome. And I want to see if it's easier on my hardware, because that's one of the biggest caveats with Google Chrome, is that it just flows through RAM. And although they have been working to optimize it a little bit better, it still goes through so much RAM. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to quickly find a YouTube video. YouTube.com. Nice. And then let's find a video. Let's find my last video. Linux noob installs hard OS. Boom. Here we go. Okay. So in total, across the two spaces, we have 10 YouTube tabs open, all with the same video loaded up. I don't know if that makes a difference in usage, but just to get an idea, let's open up Task Manager, and then we're gonna look at processes. So, yeah, Firefox. I'm actually gonna close out of Firefox. There we go. So, Arc is currently using about 2.5 gigabytes of RAM with 10 tabs open. Let's try the same thing on Google Chrome. Okay, and this is 10 Chrome tabs with the same video open. And it actually seems like Chrome has it beat in terms of RAM usage. I mean, unless there's something I'm doing wrong, but Google Chrome with the same 10 tabs open is using about 600 megabytes less of RAM. Now, I know Arc is a Chromium fork. I mean, unless these tabs are causing the issue, let's close all these out. Why not? And then could be using more RAM because it's between two spaces. I'm not sure. Let's see. I closed out those other tabs, right? Yeah, Arc is still using more. It's using about 400 megabytes more of RAM on average. I mean, depending on the computer, it might not be an issue, but I don't know. But there's the stress test, if you call it that. Let's close out all these tabs. Close. Excellent. Let's explore the settings. So, profiles help keep your data separate across spaces like history, logins, cookies, and extensions. You can use any profile across one or more spaces. this. Right now we're only using one profile. I don't think we need it. Arc Sync is end-to-end encrypted. Only you can see your data. Cool. Open a peek window when clicking on links with Shift held. Shift is held. Does that? I guess there needs to be like an actual link. I don't know. Okay. Back to the settings. Arc card. This is my Arc card. Sweet. So Arc Max. Yes. Arc Max is on. Yeah, I don't know. You can automatically enable future Arc Max features. Well, that makes up not really a lot of settings there. Let's see. Extensions. The only extension that's in there is uBlock Origin, which is a really good ad blocker. There's a bunch of developer stuff. I'm not a developer. Spaces. You can set it as your default browser. Import. But aside from that, not really much in terms of customizability. This other button up here allows you to move your tabs off the side, which is cool if you're trying to just do something like with the entire screen. So that's always nice. And then I want to see what else we can do. I mean, I put it through a stress test. I explored it. I read about the keyboard shortcuts. Honestly, the best part about this is really the keyboard shortcuts. I mean, you got different spaces. I can keep things organized. You know, this one for work, this one for activities. And then I wish that Alt-3 would just like if you only have, like right now I only got 2 spaces. I wish that if I did Alt-3, it would open up another space, like just create one. But I guess I understand why that can't work. Regardless, I don't really know what else I can do to test this out. There's not really much else, to be honest with you. So far everything seems nice though. I do really like the browser. It's not bad at all, but I don't know if this is worth me changing up my normal workflow and spending the time that it takes to get used to using this browser. I'm sure that if I did and I got used to all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff, it would probably save me time when I do either my normal work or my college work, but I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, I've been using Google Chrome for years, since I was a little kid, and if it's not Google Chrome, it was Firefox, you know, if I'm on like Linux or something. I don't know. Honestly, honest opinion, I don't think this browser is worth the switch. I know a lot of people really like it, but unless there are some crazy features that I'm not understanding, unless you're a really big fan of having your tabs on the side like this, it doesn't really make sense to switch up your entire workflow, especially if the browser is using more in resources. I mean, if you're on a lower end computer, then I definitely would say don't use Arc browser because it uses more RAM, and these days everything uses way too much RAM, so you want to save as much as you can from your applications. But aside from that, I mean, I'm going to continue using it probably for the next little while, and then from there maybe I'll make the full switch, but as of right now I don't see any reason to. I enjoy it. I think it's nice. I think the change is cool. I think the tabs on the side are really cool, but that's it. That's all I got. Well, thank you for watching, and hopefully Atlassian doesn't cook this thing.